Don't forget that. That's always a good thing. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yes. Yes.
All right, we got it. We are on. Hey, everybody in Facebook land. I'm Christine. Well, you know who I am because you're my friends. And this is my friend, my very newest friend, Megan Nolan. And I've got a story about the last name Nolan, but we're not going to talk about that today. We're going to talk all about Megan. And Megan is going to be sharing with us. Well, I just love what Megan talks about. And I absolutely know that, hey, all my entrepreneurs out there, all my sisters and misters who are working it hard, getting it hard from home, I want to hear from you. I want you to say, that's me. Put your hand up, because yeah, exactly. And it's actually good for us right now. So let's do that. Put your hands up. And welcome, my friend Megan Nolan. Megan, I'm really excited to have you here. You are a ball of energy, so I absolutely am attracted to that. And what you're talking about, I really, really love this whole where you talk about ouch out of the slouch. Like, that is just hilarious. I mean, anything rhymey and impactful for my body, I'm in. So if you are here right now, you definitely want to stick around. Megan has got so much she's going to share with us, and we're going to be with you for a little bit. So Megan, tell us about you, or maybe let me read your bio. Let's make it formal, because you know I like to make everything legit.
Ooh,
so
okay.
Megan helps driven high achieving women overcome back and neck pain so that they can live their lives joyfully energized. Oh, I just love that. I love that feeling of being joyfully energized. She is the creator of the Wake the Warrior Within method that combines the tools of yoga, movement, and breath work to help them create an empowering morning routine that leaves them feeling refreshed and ready for the day. Now, I don't know about all you out there, but this Canadian girl, we've been like hunkering down under those blankets and having a hard time getting up and out. And I am excited to have this. Megan, tell us all about the slouch, the ouchy, slouchy, and the numb bum. Is that right? Did I get that right? The numb bum?
Yes, you got all of it right. Well, thank you so much. I will definitely share all about that. So thank you so much, and great to be here with you today and to connect with your community. So yeah, I'm all about it. I'm all about helping you take the ouch out of your slouch so that you can feel good in your body, and you can feel good when you look in the mirror, because I believe that you are far more powerful than you give yourself credit for. And when you make time for yourself, everything else in your life benefits. And that's what we're going to dive into today.
I love that. I really love that. And there's so much of, especially, you know, I've been working at home for 13 years. And so being in front of, I think yesterday you asked, how many hours do you spend in front of the TV, in front of the computer at your desk? And I was like, oh, I don't want to tell her. The fact of the matter is I spend for sure 6 to 8 hours a day, and I love what I do. So while that time may seem daunting to many, it's not to me. I really do enjoy it, but yet it's kind of a sobering thought when you look at that, and what is that doing to our bodies when we are sitting here for this many hours?
It's doing a whole lot of things, and none of them are really that good. So I just want to preface that by saying that you are actually below average on sitting, which is great.
Really?
Yeah. So on average, people sit about 10 hours every day. That's pretty significant, considering, you know, that's pretty much most of your waking time. And your body doesn't really like to sit, and that's why it complains about it. Your body loves to be up and moving because that allows your muscles to stay engaged, your joints to stay movable or mobile and healthy, which sends more blood and energy, oxygen throughout your body. And when we sit down, everything slows down or drops down. So we tend to get into what I lovingly call, which you alluded to earlier, the ouchy slouchy posture, where we are rounded over the keyboard and we move from, yeah, you got it right there. So you perfectly demonstrated what is the painful position? Yeah, no more. Stop. Arms up, reach up, take a big deep breath. Yeah, fix it. Okay. So what we move into when we're sitting down is a more rounded C curve, or you're doing your best croissant impression, right? You're kind of rounded over the keyboard, moving out of the natural S curvature of the spine. So if your spine is meant to be like this, more upright, with this being your head, and you start going, rounding over, because your head is beautiful, but it's big and it's heavy, right? It's anywhere between 8 and 12 pounds. So that causes a lot of pressure on the upper back, which is where we get the neck and upper back pain, often called like tech or text neck, which is resulting from your head moving far forward. And then we start to get pain and compression in the lower back, and then you bring your legs into the mix. And because you're not standing on them, your muscles start to get weaker, your bones start to get a little bit more, not brittle right away, but the load on your bones is way less. So it's less demand on the bones. So it starts to weaken the structure of your bones. You start to slow your metabolism down. Your blood pressure goes up. Your blood cholesterol can go up. We still have accumulation of unhealthy fatty acids in the blood. And then because you're in this weak position, let's play a game right here. So let's go into a nice, strong, open posture. So shoulders pull back, and you're going to move your head back. And then everybody play along with us. So close your eyes, and I'm going to have you take a big deep breath. And then breathe it out slowly. Okay, let's do one more, just so that you're getting a bit of a baseline for how it feels. Okay. And now I want you to drop your chest down and roll your shoulders forward and put your arms out in front of you. Okay, so like you're at the keyboard, but just kind of like slouched over. And now close your eyes again and breathe.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Okay, so that's enough of that, but sit back up. So let us know in the comments. Could you feel the difference? Could you feel a difference, Christine?
Absolutely. I felt like if I could take it in, you know, a mile,
Yeah.
I was only able to breathe in a half a block.
Whoa.
It was like, it was, wow. It was such a noticeable difference now I do consciously work at keeping my shoulders back. I have for many years. I was in human resources, Megan, and I used to have to do the ergonomics with the staff at their desks and so on. So I was always consciously paying attention to that. And we find ourselves, like even when you're thinking and, you put your head, you're down like this, like there's different positions that I'll find myself in, and then I'll think, sit up. But when you did that, when you had us do that, I could feel an intensity in the middle of my back. That's obviously needs some attention, because I haven't been paying enough attention to this sitting straight up.
Yeah, I love that you made such a beautiful observation there about if you were able to breathe a mile, you were only able to breathe about a block. So as far as the volume that you were getting in, and then the sensation in your upper back. So what happened is you went from that S curvature where everything is in a line to a more rounded C curve. So that's the pain that you're feeling in the upper back. And then what happens there, why it's so difficult for you to breathe deeply, is that your main breathing muscle, which is your diaphragm, which wraps around the bottom of your rib cage, is compressed. It's kind of scrunched in, right? Because you're leaning forward. So you don't breathe very well, and because it can't move freely up and down. So then the backup team, which is already having to hold that beautiful head of yours, has to kick in, and that's the neck and shoulders. So they're the secondary backup team for breathing, and they're not very effective at it. They're kind of like the second string. They're like, I don't know, let's just give it a go. And so they're a bit weaker, and they are already taxed because they're holding your head. So what happens is you just take in a little sip or a little shallow breath of air, which is what you notice there, and which is the way that we breathe when we're under stress. We take short, shallow breaths when we're under stress, because your body is instinctively trying to get in more oxygen, out more carbon dioxide, so that you can pump it into your blood and into your muscles. So when you're sitting like that, not only are you causing all the issues that we felt earlier, or we spoke to earlier, but the pain that you felt in your upper back, you're actually triggering stress rather quickly. And so when you're under stress, your body is like, I must survive the situation. Where's the tiger? I don't know. I don't see a tiger, but she's breathing like there's a tiger. So we got to go. We got like all the stress hormones coming now, which is not ideal for your productivity, your creativity, your ability to focus, make decisions, be patient with people. And so what's happening when we sit is all of that becomes this whole cascade that I call the sitter syndrome. And that's kind of what we're dealing with on a regular daily basis.
Syndrome. Wow. I wonder how many people collectively are in this space and don't even realize that.
A
It's,
lot.
yeah, you've got your work cut out for you, sister. Like you really, really do. And I love that you have some amazing things to talk to us about. So what can we do to stay on top of this and keep our bodies strong and healthy? Because trying to remember to sit up doesn't
Mhm.
always work.
Yes, that's a great point. So the first point to that is having an alarm throughout your day. Some people use their Apple Watch or another like Fitbit or what have you. I just use my phone. So I don't really sit very often. I just have a standing setup for my desk because I know the science and I know all the research. So I'm like, why would I do that to myself? So I have a standing desk, but periodically I need to sit, just if you want to sit down or you take a break for your back. And so alternating from standing to sitting, if you have that capability, but setting an alarm on your phone every time you go to your desk. Some people find that the shorter window of 25 minutes feels like they get cut off, like if they're in flow and they're like, no, I can't get too much done in 25 minutes, although 25 minutes is ideal. You can set a 45-minute alarm, because your brain at about the 45-minute mark is when we start to have all of those cascade of issues that I spoke to earlier. But at about that mark is when your brain, because you're taking those short, shallow breaths, it starts to fatigue and we get a little foggy. And that's when you might find yourself kind of, oh, what's over here? Maybe I should go over to YouTube and try to find a new strategy. Maybe I should go on Facebook, and we get distracted. Yes.
Okay, so hold on. My brain is like, wait a minute, what? So it's not just the shiny balls that our brain is trying to catch our attention with. It has to do with what's going on in our body that pulls us away after 45 minutes. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Like, all right, that's a big thing, because I do find myself, I was recently creating a course, and I was in one of those spaces where it's like, okay, Christine, just like turn off your phone, close down your emails, like just don't let anything interrupt. And I'm loving the creation. I'm excited about the creation. Like all of the elements were in play, and I could feel myself being pulled away.
Mm-hmm.
That is so fascinating, Megan.
Mm-hmm. It is. So you can hack that by getting ahead of it, and dedicating 45 minutes of non-distraction time. And then when the alarm goes off, that's when you go to the toilet and you can look on Facebook or whatever it is. So you give your brain that opportunity to switch gears, because as much as your brain likes repetition, that helps it to learn and hardwire in the skills, the talents, etc., it likes novelty as well. So it likes that pause and go back to it. That's why you would switch in grade school. They would have you go from one subject for maybe like an hour, then you walk down the hall, you go to another one. So that's why they do that. And that's also why they do recess, because your body likes to move. So one of my core beliefs is that having an empowering morning routine is the most effective way to not only prevent the keyboard hunchback, but keep you strong and healthy. So a lot of times, I hear people saying like, oh, I just wish I could be more consistent with my exercise. I just never have enough time and I can't seem to get to it at the end of the day. So let's put it first. What's a priority? What you schedule in will get done, or more likely that it will get done. So having an empowering morning routine where you're energizing your body, you're engaging the muscles that tend to get a little sleepy, like the one you sit on all day, the sleeping booty that we all tend to get when we sit all day.
Say that again, because that's just the funnest thing I've ever heard.
Okay, yes. Let's talk about the modern reality tale while we're here at this point. So the modern reality tale of everything that I just was speaking to with sitter syndrome is what I would also call sleeping booty and the 7 sneaky symptoms of sitting too much. So this modern reality tale is one that you very likely are living. And, if you're sitting down right now, you might already start to recognize some of this. So what happens is that when you spend hours and hours, days, weeks, months, years, sitting in a chair, because you're not using it, your derriere tends to fall into a deep slumber. So technically, if you want to get technically it's called gluteal amnesia, i.e. your butt forgets what to do because you don't work on it very often. You don't call it into action. So it forgets what to do. So it doesn't fire and gets sleepy. So sleeping booty tends to happen when we sit. So I like to call it sleeping booty or numb bum. We've all had that feeling of like, remember when you could go on long airplane flights back in the day and it felt like your butt was falling asleep? That's the same sort of deal.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That is it's so true. You know, one of the things that I found with sitting that I have really paid attention to was the bottom of my feet would be in a lot of pain when I was walking long distances, and I could not understand what was going on. Long story short, I came to the knowledge that what was happening was my calves, the muscles in my calves were shortening because I was sitting all day and I wasn't properly stretching, and it was impacting the bottom of my feet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I am continuously paying attention to moving my feet, but also stretching those more often. But I know that there's more that we can do. So what would you suggest? Like, what can we do when we're at our desks? Because sometimes we can't get away. I mean, yes, setting that alarm, I'm absolutely going to be doing that. What else do you suggest that we could be doing?
Well, in addition to having that time in the morning when you're engaging the muscles that tend to get sleepy, is really important to, when the alarm goes off, actually stand up. Actually stand up. And because what you were experiencing there is what I was showing earlier, is when we sit, the thigh bone and then the lower leg bone, your hamstrings and then your calves get very tight when we sit down. So that pulls on your pelvis, can cause, like you notice, all sorts of achy back pain, as well as sensation in your feet, which is a bummer because that affects every step you take. So one thing that you can do if you're not able to stand up is you can't really see me, but what I'm doing here is I'm lifting my feet off the floor and just stretching my leg out in front of me. Okay, so if my knees are bent, if my knees are bent and your feet are flat on the floor, you got it. Yeah, you'll be the demo. One at a time. One at a time.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then, so what I want you to do there you go. To incorporate your calf, you're going to take your foot up and flex your foot.
Oh, that feels so good.
Yes. And what you're actually doing there is starting to floss the sciatic nerve, which is the root cause of sciatic pain or sciatica. So you're moving that nerve, you're moving the muscles and you're flossing the nerve. You're basically giving space to the nerve so that it has space to be comfortable. So that one is really good. And then, of course, anything that you can do to open yourself back up, because the 7 sneaky symptoms are tidy. So, we get into that constricted, tight position where you have all that extra tension because that beautiful head of yours, it's heavy, right? We talked about that. So if it's not on top of your shoulders, then it's even more load for your upper back, because your head, say it's 10 pounds. If you move it 1 inch forward, it doubles in weight. So now it's 20 pounds. Move it again, it's another 40 pounds. So it's really significant, and it's important for you to move your weight back so that you're stacking your joints. So anytime you think about it, like you were mentioning earlier, shoulders pulling back, but also feel yourself move back so you can feel yourself grounding down into your sit bones, or if you were standing, you'd ground down into your feet so that you feel yourself kind of moving your head back so it feels like it's a little bit more level over your shoulders.
Right.
That's important. And then to get out of achy, which is another one of the sneaky symptoms, really opening yourself back up and just getting blood flow, because the achiness, the tension is from the restriction, and we're not getting movement into the joint. So we get achy, we get sore. So moving your shoulders, anything like this is good. Yeah, as long as it's pain-free, and you can make it bigger or not. And then it's where we start to feel like, if you feel it in your neck when you do that, just do it lower. It's okay. Do it lower. And then we want to make sure we're activating your muscles so you don't get droopy, right? So that's another of the sneaky symptoms. We tend to get a little bit droopy. So you can do any sort of sort of movements out to the side. So you're engaging the muscles of your upper back. That keeps you awake and keeps you out of sleepy, right? So we talked about that short, shallow breathing triggers brain fog, triggers distractions, it triggers low energy. So now that you're sitting up nice and tall, you can breathe deeply, breathe into your belly, and then breathe out slowly. And that's a great thing to do if you're like, you're waiting for something to load or upload and you're sitting there and you're like, you're getting frustrated with it. That's something important to do, is sit or stand tall, turn if you need to, and look out a window or look as far away as you can see. Because when we look at a screen that's very close, your eyes converge and they come together on a point. But your eyes are used to like being able to go wide, go narrow. So when you look far away, your eyes diverge, they open out. And so that you're getting a lot more information, that can take away from the computer vision syndrome or the eye strain or the headaches that you get. So that's super simple. So those are really helpful. And then of course we want to make sure that we're not getting groany, right? So the groan when you stand up and you're in pain, so that you're getting up periodically and you're moving. And something simple, if you're like, just need a little pick me up, if you can stand up or sit, you move one leg, lift it up and you touch across with the other hand. That just engages the hip muscles a little bit more, gets more movement through your body so that you don't get cranky, right? So they all come together.
Okay. Tidy, achy, droopy, sleepy, groany, cranky.
Yes. Is that 7? Oh, you got 6.
That's 6.
Oh, nummy. Oh yeah. So yeah, nummy. So nummy actually was the one that got me into this in the beginning, because I learned about this whole framework to help people that were dealing with postural weakness, pain, etc., from sitting, when my hands went numb, my hands all the way up to my elbows. And it was scary, right? Because I didn't have sensation. I was living in Victoria, Canada at the time. So it was quite cold, well, relatively speaking for Canada, but it would get cold and it would feel like steel in my arms because it was so painful and there was no sensation. So it just was so painful. And so finally I got to a physical therapist and who taught me about all of this. So nummy is something that happens when your muscles are so tight and you're in a weak posture that the muscles are pinching off the nerves and we don't have sensation. So sometimes that happens for people in their hands or in their feet as well, because of the hip muscles or the hip joint getting tight and pinching off the nerves that go to the leg and subsequently the feet. So nummy is the 7th one that we didn't get to.
Wow. Megan, like what I've just learned from you in 15 minutes, that it's all blowing my mind. I absolutely love it. And I know that you have got a free offering for anybody that's here today. And I'm going to put the link in the live, and we'll put it all over the place, because I think what you've just shared, if you can share this in 10 minutes, what you're going to share in the future will be, I know it will be a huge gift. It'll be a gift to my body. I'm doing this for me. Anybody else wants to come along, come, but I don't care. My body is my vessel and I'm sticking around for a long time. My mother is 98 and a half years old.
Whoa.
I am going to beat her. I am going to stick around much longer. So tell us about your free offer. This is very exciting.
Yes, I will definitely do that. I have to preface it by saying I may have to sneeze. So I just want to give you a heads up. I can feel it. I can feel it brewing. So I want to just, hopefully that will take it away. So yes, next Wednesday, March 23rd, I will be giving you all the tools and the secrets you need to prevent the dreaded keyboard hunchback, to keep yourself strong and healthy, to tone and engage your muscles so you don't feel like you're twice your age when you stand up out of your desk. You have more energy so you're not physically drained and in pain. So I'll be sharing all the tools and the secrets to help you to do that, because the reality is computers are not going anywhere and they're becoming even more of an active part of our life. So like you said, it's on us, right? It's your vessel. So what are you going to do to make sure that you are thriving today and tomorrow and the day after, so you can live a long and healthy life? So we'll be diving into all of that and lots more, be sharing tools with you to take the ouch out of your slouch so you're feeling good, feeling lit up with energy, feeling strong and toned in your body, so that you can look in the mirror and love what you see and just feel vibrantly energized, clear-headed, focused, all of that good stuff. And ultimately just feel light and easy in your body, because we know when we're in pain, we just feel that like dense, heavy, draining energy, and that is no good for anybody.
Yeah, it's definitely not a contribution for our businesses when we are in that pain. You cannot focus, and if you cannot focus, you're not bringing your best self to your business and certainly to your clients. And it's really on us to pay attention. I know that there's a lot of things in our lives that we have to pay attention to, especially when we're business owners or we're working from home, we have children. But here's the thing that I absolutely know, that if we are not taking care of us first, everything else is going to be like nails on a chalkboard. It's just going to make things worse and worse. And I think sometimes we've had the order of our focus backwards, and we need to actually make these bodies our first focus. Now, in that course that you're offering, are you going to be talking about setting up like a morning routine on how we can prepare our days? Oh, yay.
Yes.
All right. Who's coming with me? who out there, come on, say, I'm coming, Christine, put it in the caption, put it in the chat. I would love to see you all there. Megan, thank you so much for your time. And I'm very excited to learn a lot more from you. And anything else you want to share with us before we say goodbye to these lovely people in Facebook land?
Sure. So I want to just continue on your point about how when we make time for ourselves, it benefits everything in your life because it changes how you feel, which changes how you show up. It changes your energy. It changes what you are thinking about, what you're creating. And so keeping in mind that when you make time for yourself, it has such a beautiful ripple effect that the ROI, the return on investment, is so high and so worth your time. And I think we've learned over the past 2 years, hopefully, how incredibly invaluable your health is and how ultimately it is your number one asset and how ultimately you are the common denominator in all parts of your life. And you are such an important component, obviously, in your business. And so you being there, you shining and fully showing up as your best is such an incredible contribution to not only to your business and your relationships, but when you are feeling good, it elevates your energetic space, your frequency, what you're putting out in the world. It affects how you interact with people at the grocery store, maybe the Uber driver. It has ripple effects. And so collectively, it's so important, but individually, it has such a beautiful impact on your overall health and vitality today, and then how you sleep tonight and how you wake up tomorrow. And so you can see how the ripple effect is really powerful. So it's definitely worth your time. And I would love to have you join us for the workshop. Happy to answer any questions that you have either here in this chat or next Wednesday, the 23rd. And there will be a replay if you can't make it live.
Okay, cool. So I will be there. Karen is saying that she's coming. Who else is coming? Well, at least I'm grateful that, you know, what you've shared with me, I'm going to start implementing immediately, even before the 23rd, but I'll be there. I will be there. Whatever it takes, I will be there for sure. Because my body is asking, please pay attention to this woman. So thank you again, Megan. I very much appreciate it. Thank you, everybody in Facebook land. Do come and play with us. You will be happy that you did. All right, we will talk to you all soon. Thank you so much again, Megan. And yeah, check the link. Bye for now, peeps.
Bye. Thank you.